Welcome in, long ball number one. I'm Robert. He's Jason. The Caveat Kings are back at it again. We all got excited about the big names coming into camp. There's been some mixed groups for the United States men's national team, and we saw Pulisic, Robinson, and others that we're excited to see, but those names, Pulisic, Robinson, and Zendejas, not in training. So all the fervor of seeing them all play together tonight might be in vain as they were not training.
Look, we had Christian Pulisic last month, and that went well. Weston McKennie wasn't there, and there were some things missing. Jedi Robinson wasn't there. Serginho Dest was there. Now Serginho Dest is not here, but neither apparently is Jedi Robinson. Probably not going to play today because of his lingering issues that have limited him at Fulham. I mean,
should our siren be up for Jedi Robinson here?
I think there is some concern. I have seen some writing on his issues, and he's struggled quite a bit with those injury problems. Hopefully, this is not long term. You'd rather not play him and get him ready for the World Cup and all of those things, and then rather than risk him. I mean, Paul Tenorio wrote yesterday at The Athletic about a dead leg. That's what Jedi Robinson was dealing with. He was dealing with a dead leg. He had a knee injury. He said it's really been difficult missing games, to be honest, because we had some disappointments this year. Obviously, the U.S. men's national team had the Nations League and the Gold Cup, and those things that Jedi as a leader, I think, really does push for that team to win trophies. Not being able to bring them home was disappointing. So he is still figuring it out. Fulham in the U.S. tried to manage Robinson's workload to deal with the pain. Doctors and surgeons confirmed the injury likely wouldn't heal completely without surgery, so he had that. He had developed something called tendinopathy. I'm not a doctor, Rob.
Not a doctor, but that sounds bad.
So, will he get back to full strength? Again, don't know. Didn't train yesterday. Christian Pulisic, you know what? If he's got a knock, if he's dealing with something, fine. Hold him back. I'm not going to get too upset about that choice, other than to say it's disappointing that we're not going to see him in the team that now has Weston McKennie back in it, that still has Balogun, who seems pretty confident, rolls in with a bit of steam behind him. Obviously, Tyler Adams is not here for his own personal reasons, not injury, but because he's about to have another kid. And Alex Zendejas, who scored a very nice goal last time around for the national team, is also apparently dealing with something and might not play tonight. So, look, there's good and bad. Now, I will say this, Rob, it kind of does prepare you for what the World Cup might be, because when has any team ever had every single one of their first choice guys ready to go 100%, full of confidence and form going into World Cup? It just doesn't happen. So let's deal with it.
Yeah, it's like a solar eclipse. All the stars can't align all at the same time. That happens so infrequently, and that just leans on why the importance of depth is so much. You got to have 30 guys or so to really be able to rely on, because it seems that the top 11 or 18 are almost never going to be healthy at the same time. And one of the things, I put a question out there on the community page of the morning kicker on YouTube, like, what are you most looking forward to? We got some answers. Curious about seeing Malik Tillman play and who's going to play at the 6. I really wanted to see Dest and Robinson play at the same time. There was a brief window where both fullbacks were healthy at the same time, and this United States men's national team was like an exciting team to watch during that. They actually had some options going forward, and they were able to penetrate down both sides, and that was exciting. So disappointing that we're likely not going to see that, but Serginho Dest back in the team, really excited to see that. But going back to the viewers' replies to the community post, I was excited to see that Aiden Morris is back in the mix, because he seemed like a player that the national team would benefit from. And glad that he is included in the list. But the viewers comment, who do we think we might see at 6? Who do we want to see at 6? Tanner Tessman or Aiden Morris?
Yeah, look, I'm a fan of Aiden Morris. However, I'm not sure he's the guy that Pochettino will turn to. This is this is kind of like, I guess, what I want to see, but also my best guess of what this might look like tonight against Ecuador. Again, there's some really guessing. This is guessing. Okay, freeze, no problem there. A back line of Ream, Richards, and McKenzie. Anybody got an issue with that based on what we know? I mean, it could be Riles Robinson, I suppose, but I think McKenzie probably has a leg up. Arfston on the left with no Jetta Robinson. Freeman on the right with no Serginho Dest. I don't think those things are controversial, even though, again, they're not the guys we want to see in those spots if we're playing our best team. McKennie and Tessman. I threw Tessman in there. I think McKennie probably goes back into the starting lineup. I got Malik Tillman in there. I don't know if that's controversial. With no Pulisic, is it Diego Luna and Balogun? Is it Tim Weah and Balogun? What does it look like? Right? I don't know. This is my best guess at what we might see tonight, but I'm like 30% confident that this is what it's actually going to be.
Yeah, I think this is a realistic look at what we might see tonight. Interesting that Max Arfston has creeped into the fold as one of the higher people in the depth chart at those positions, and seeing him live a few times now. He is an exciting player, world class, yet to be seen, but he does seem to be improving. Have we seen McKennie and Tessman play together before?
No,
I'm not.
No, that's the thing. We're in some uncharted territory here when it comes to what this might look like. I mean, I'm looking at other people's lineups. People are on the internet, writers making predictions. This one's got Cameron Carter-Vickers starting at center back. I don't see that, but again, maybe that person is right.
No matter how good CCV may or may not be, getting absolutely like sliced and diced for the club whenever you face a decent opponent isn't a good sign. At least not for confidence, at the very least.
Yeah, I'm not a massive CCV fan to begin with, so this is just, again, we're kind of guessing as to what Pochettino might do, whether he wants to see somebody get some time against a pretty decent Ecuador team. I mean, they're missing some of their big guns. Moisés Caicedo is not there. Piero Hincapié is not there. There's a couple other names that are missing for Ecuador, but we know they're going to play. They're going to play fast, and they're going to try to beat you with their speed, athleticism. The counterattack is going to be a thing. So midfield has to be on point, and there's not a natural number 6 in this group. Aiden Morris might be more of a 6 than 10 or Tessman, but I just wonder if Pochettino is going to try to find a balance between McKennie and Tessman that might work. And McKennie, you want to push him up high. There's a lot of things that are just unclear to me about this group this evening. Christian Roldan's also in there, and he could do a bunch of different things, but I don't know, Rob. I just don't know.
Yeah, do you think that if you saw this lineup that you just put up on the screen, if you saw that go into a competitive game, where would your confidence meter be?
I mean, I think I would still be pretty confident they can put together a decent performance, but it wouldn't reflect what I think is the best the U.S. can offer. So again, if they get to the World Cup and that's what the lineup looks like, some of us are going to be like, okay, I'm not completely sure about this. And it depends on the competition that you're facing as well.
And then one of our loyal MK Ultras throws in a question while we're on the topic. What are the odds of seeing Big Pat? I'm guessing he's talking about Ajamang.
Yeah.
He sees him coming in for 20 minutes if trailing.
Yeah, I mean, I'd see why not, right? It's a friendly. Even if you're not trailing, throw him in for 20 minutes, give him a look, give him an opportunity to go bang around and force some things to happen. He's a different look than Fowler and Balogun. They play very differently. So why wouldn't you do that? Give Pat a look and see what he can do in there. Again, like, I think there are some pieces that could be swapped out pretty easily here. And I'm not even sure. It's not that there's not some quality difference between these players in some regards, or at least my opinion of them and their quality could be different from player to player. But if it was Aiden Morris instead of Tanner Tessman, would you be like, I can't believe he picked Aiden Morris over Tanner Tessman? No, same thing with Christian Roldan, right? They're the center backs, Miles Robinson, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Mark McKenzie. Not so much Ream and Richards. Those guys are pretty solid, at least in terms of our perception of them as starters. But some of these guys, like if it wasn't McKenzie, if it was Carter-Vickers or Robinson, would I be like, oh my God, I can't? No, I probably couldn't say that. So that's where we are with this. I mean, I think outside of the fullbacks or wingbacks in that situation, because it's a back three, I'm not sure there's anything that's like written in stone with this. Maybe Balogun's a start and Freeze in goal, but that's it. That's like 4 spots where you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, hard to say what exactly they will look like, but we shall see tonight.